G'day everyone, it's Justin and
Scott.
two dads again from BRRRRRM Australia, coming to you today from a 2018 Mazda BT-50
over the speed limit.
Oops. You've had this ute for a couple of days now.
I have.
We look at things from a sort of fun and family friendly aspect, and a lot of people in Australia have utes as their family car, don't they?
Yeah, there's been quite an explosion of it over the last few years. People really finding the Practicality a real seller.
Like
something to think about.
A huge boot in the back, I suppose.
Absolutely.
And a lot of these things now are very car-like in the way that they're spec'd and even ride now, I suppose, too, don't they? So, mate, after a couple of days of...
over the speed limit.
So, mate, after a couple of days of driving this thing, what do you think? Is it a good family car?
Yeah, so I suppose if I reflect on the practical piece, I've been around Sydney doing quite a few different things over the last couple of days. So on the fringes of Sydney, out at horse riding with my daughter. Felt very at home, very comfortable when I was out a bit further afield. And then yesterday I was more around the middle of the city, and so at that point I was probably finding it's a very big car and quite challenging around the standard streets of Sydney. So it has the practicality, but then there's a bit of a compromise, which I'm not sure I'm willing to live with every day.
Okay, yeah, that's quite true. I mean, essentially this is a commercial vehicle, so it's designed to be like a one-ton ute. This one we're in is the dual cab model, so you've got seats in the back. So yeah, I suppose, it's not a car by any means. Like, I mean, a lot of people, might look at one of these because they like to go off-roading, they like to do a lot of outdoorsy types of things, but then again, you could always get yourself a like a SUV, four-wheel drive SUV or something to do that too.
That's right. I mean, so if you're using this car during the week as like a tradie vehicle or some sort of vehicle where it offers you practicality, and then it's doubling as the family car on the weekend, it sort of makes sense, right? I can see why this would work.
Yep.
But if it's your full-time family car, I think there's a lot of SUVs that would probably still give you that active lifestyle, and maybe a bit more car-like feel day to day, and a bit easier to park, and just generally a bit more friendly around the city, in the urban environment. Yeah.
Well, mate, the one we're in today is the top of the range BT-50. This is the GT model. Comes with the 3.2 turbo diesel 5-cylinder engine, which puts out about 147 kilowatts at 3,000 RPM, 470 Newton meters at a low 750 to 2,500 RPM, 6-speed auto. You can get a 6-speed manual as well, but in Sydney, who really goes for the manual, I suppose. So, it's a bit over 2 tonne in weight. This one's the 4-wheel drive version, so it's got 2 high, 4 high, 4 low.
Yep.
As well. Like you say, it is a big car. It's like it's probably 5.3 meters long and about 1.8 meters wide. So around town, you're right. It's probably a little bit interesting.
You notice it going down some of the tighter streets, right, where you really got to concentrate and you've got to let cars go before you and things like that. And that's when you feel its bulk. Yeah. There are cars that look big from the outside. When you're driving them, they feel smaller. Yeah. This looks big from the outside and it feels big when you're driving it.
Yeah. Now, one thing I don't know if a lot of people are aware of, but this car, this ute, I should say, is the cousin of a Ford Ranger. They both come out of the same factory, except that, and underneath they are essentially the same vehicles, but different styling, different spec. This particular one has a list price of about $54,490, but I think Mazda, is really aggressively trying to get the BT-50 selling in that market, and I think, for a 2017 model at the moment, they've got an offer on, I think, $49,990. That's pretty good value for what you're getting in this car.
A lot of car, absolutely. For that
you get this, it's an 8-inch Alpine infotainment system that's new to the model now. It's got DAB, mapping, off-road mapping, traffic. I think it integrates the rear camera and the air conditioning and all that stuff into the unit, which is pretty good. Tells you if you're going over the speed limit too.
It does, yes. Yep. And I've used that a fair bit over the last couple of days, and you know, on the whole, I found it was very usable. Good system.
Yeah.
I think the speakers could be a little bit better in this.
Okay.
But probably not the primary purpose of this vehicle. But yeah, on the whole, that was pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's a shame they haven't put the generic sort of normal Mazda MZD system that's in every other Mazda into this one. I mean, I can understand it. You know, it's a half Ford type car, I suppose, but that Mazda MZD system isn't too bad once you get used to it too, and it sort of would give the whole, you know, family look about the BT-50 with the rest of the Mazda range. But
yeah, I mean, it does feel a little bit aftermarket, the whole stereo system. We've got the you know, it's got the digital radio, which is great, but then you can see the digital antenna up there fitted after, so it's just not quite as integrated as you'd normally see in a vehicle.
And being the top of the range one, this one comes with the leather seats and other bits and pieces.
Yeah, electric driver's side seats.
Yeah, which is pretty good. So, you know, the driving position, I thought, you know, you're over the traffic and everything like that. It's visibility's pretty good, I suppose. But dynamically, it's not a car. So
yeah. The other thing I noticed, which was a good thing, was the rear vision mirrors, electric rear vision mirrors. So you know, with that width and city streets and stuff like that, good to close in the rear vision mirrors on some of those more narrow streets.
I got to say, I mean, it soaks up the bumps reasonably well, doesn't it? Like the ride, like I was thinking, you know, being a commercial vehicle underneath, that, you know, we're going to be bouncing around and everything like that. It's not too bad.
No, we haven't got a load on at the back. So and sometimes they can feel really quite light and taily when you're driving these types of vehicles without that, but it doesn't feel that way at all. And I was on a few freeways yesterday, and honestly, the road noise is really quiet. So it's it performed really well on the freeway, I've got to say.
And you can tell it's got a diesel, but it's not that intrusive, is it? It's like it's, you know, pretty good actually. Now, mate, the other thing, these things come with a 10k service interval on them, and I think they have got some sort of, you know, suggested sort of cap price servicing thing. But the warranty on the car is interesting. It's like it's a normal 2-year unlimited K warranty for a BT-50.
Okay.
But if you do under 100,000 Ks in the first 2 years of owning the car, it's actually a 3-year 100,000 K warranty. So, you know, it comes up with the, I guess, the rest of the other Mazdas in the range. But it's only if you're not doing massive Ks, isn't it? So
that's right. Yeah. We're still saying, you know, 3 years is, you know, on the low side these days. You're getting a lot of other car manufacturers with 5 and 7 year warranties. So
that's true.
It's something to consider.
It's very true. This particular one is actually fitted with a lot of sort of accessories, because I guess a lot of people, if it's the sort of the family ute, I suppose, love to, you know, deck it out with all these kind of things. I mean, it's got, you know, this big black bull bar at the front, the sports bars, the tray mat, the tonneau, the tow bar kit, which is you know, a 350 kilo downboard weight. This car has like a 3.5 ton towing capacity.
Yep, which is a big plus for it.
Yeah,
right?
which is good. Yep. That's all right. But all those accessories on this particular car come to about a bit over $6,000, I think. So, yeah, but I mean, Mazda's got a stack of different things you can spec the car up with. They've actually got these, you know, like kits as well that have certain accessories that you can spec it up. But, you know, check out the Mazda website for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think to that point, if you are doing some towing and stuff, this is one of the cars to really think about.
Yeah.
A mate of mine, Dean, hi Dean, travelling around Australia,
he's got
doing one of these, towing a van. Yeah. So, and you know, he's finding it very fit for purpose. So, I think this has got a place for that.
Now, one thing, as we mentioned, I guess, is that, you know, it's a cousin to the Ford Ranger, but I guess the Ford Ranger sells a little bit more than the Mazda BT-50.
Yes.
I think is it to do with the styling? What do you think about the styling of the car?
Well, I asked a few people that because I didn't really have a strong view myself, so I thought I'd ask a few other people. I got mixed reactions. I think it's very personalised. I don't have an answer for you, mate. I don't know. It's okay. Yeah.
Okay.
You think the Ford Ranger, maybe that's one of the reasons they're selling more?
I've got a theory, I suppose. I mean, who buys these things? The majority of people.
You are over the speed limit.
Who buys these things? The majority of people that buy these things are males, I guess.
Yes.
Yep. And, you know, masculine males, I suppose.
Yep. I felt a bit more blokey driving it the last few days.
Hey, yep, that's right. Who needs Viagra?
Yeah.
Now, the Ranger, I suppose, has that more blokey look to it, doesn't it? Whereas this one, I mean, it's had an upgrade in terms of the look at the front, but it still seems a little bit car-like at the front, doesn't it? So maybe that's a reason why, you know, the Ranger seems to, you know, be a bit better seller than one of these. But to be honest, I mean, if they're the same underneath, the value for money aspect on this, if it's cheaper, who cares?
Absolutely,
Like, you know, it's fit for purpose. It's going to drive and do pretty much the same thing. You know, like I said, you know, you can pick up one of these for under 50 grand at the moment. So top of the range one, why not?
Yep. Important to note, right? Same DNA underneath.
Yeah.
So look for value for money and what you can get at the time.
Anyway, just want to put a big thank you out to our friends at Mazda Australia for the loan of the BT-50 today.
Yeah.
It has made us feel a bit more blokey.
Yes, definitely.
So thank you. And want to put a big thank you out to everybody out there for watching, and we'll check you next time.
Thank you.